Assalamualaikum and greeting everyone. Welcome to my final project presentation. I am Siti Nurnisahani binti Zarlan Kadri, a final year student in Bachelor of Nutrition Science. The title of my FYP is The Association Between Diet Quality and Growth Among Preschool Children in Terengganu. I am supervised by my lecturer, Associate Professor Dr. Sharifah Wajah Wafa binti Said Saadud Tariq Wafa. So, first, let's begin with the introduction. Diet quality in early life is very important and essential for a healthy growth and development. Malnutrition among children is one of the serious public health concerns related to diet quality. Early childhood is a critical period for healthy growth and development of the child's body, and regular assessment of linear growth of adequate weight gain and height progression for each are essential. According to the Joint Child Malnutrition Estimate (JME) of UNICEF, WHO, and World Bank, there are an increasing prevalence of stunting among children under 5 years of age. The growth might be associated with the quality of preschool children. Next is the research hypothesis. The null hypothesis for this research is there is no association between diet quality and growth among preschool children in Terengganu. Next, let's proceed to the research objective. The general objectives of this study is to determine the association between diet quality and growth among preschool children, while the specific objectives is first, to determine the diet quality of preschool children, second, to assess the growth pattern of preschool children, and third, to determine the association between diet quality and growth among preschool children. Here is the literature review, where according to T et al., several studies show that the major factors contributing to the child growth differences between developed and developing countries are the dietary and environmental constraints. Moreover, studies have been coordinated in 3 South Asia countries, including Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia, where the height and weight was used to provide an understanding of the nutritional status. The high prevalence of stunting in a study conducted among orang asli preschool children in Negeri Sembilan, Malaysia, reflects the persistence of poor nutrition. Therefore, it is important to determine the association between growth and diet quality of preschool children in Terengganu. Next, we go to the methodology. The study design for the research is a cross-sectional study. The study location was 24 preschools under Yayasan Pembangunan Keluarga Terengganu in Kuala Nerus, Kuala Terengganu, and Marang, while the study participants include preschool children aged 3 and 4 years old who attended Taska Permata Keluarga in Kuala Nerus, Kuala Terengganu, and Marang. The variables under study was dependent variable, growth, and the independent variable was diet quality. The measurement tools used in this study is sociodemographic and anthropometric measurement, food frequency questionnaire, and Malaysia Healthy Eating Index (MHEI). For the anthropometric measurement, the measurement of height and weight of the participants was obtained by using measuring device that was available for the respondent. This is because the height and weight of the participants was self-administered by their parents, since we want to reduce the physical contact involved between participants and researchers during this pandemic COVID-19. The weight for each, height for each, and BMI for each Z-score was calculated in accordance with the WHO Child Growth Chart. Based on the Z-score obtained, the data was classified into tall, where height for each Z-score more than +2 standard deviation, stunting, where the height for each Z-score less than -2 standard deviation, underweight, where the weight for each Z-score is less than -2 standard deviation, overweight or obese, where the BMI for each Z-score is more than +2 standard deviation, and wasting, where the BMI for each Z-score is less than -2 standard deviation. Next measurement tools used was Food Frequency Questionnaire (FFQ), where it consists of 122 food and beverages items. This FFQ was used to obtain information on usual frequency and serving size. The detailed instruction on how to fill in the questionnaire was provided to the parents in the questionnaire form. Upon submission, all FFQs is checked by the study researchers to ensure no fields are left blank. The average frequency of consumption for each food item was documented as daily, weekly, monthly, and never. These frequencies is manually converted to daily intakes using standard conversion factors and linked with Malaysian food composition and food atlas. Nutritionist Bureau software version 3.1 was used to estimate the daily nutrient intakes. Other measurement tools used in the study was Malaysia Healthy Eating Index (MHEI). It is consists of 7 components, which include 7 food groups. MHEI was used to assess diet quality of respondents based on their FFQs. The scoring of HEI components will be estimated using the recommendation described in the MDG. The score for each component is ranging from 0 to 10. Greater value indicates better adherence to MDG. The total HEI score will be estimated by summing up score for the 7 components. Here is the formula to calculate the HEI score, where the daily serving size consumption divided by recommended serving size and multiplied by 10, which is the maximum score for each component. The composite score in percentage were then calculated using the formula total score for the 7 component divided by maximum score of 19 and multiplied by 100. A score of less than 51% indicates poor diet quality, while the score range between 51 to 80% shows moderate diet quality, and score more than 80% indicates a good diet quality. So here's the study flow chart. First, we obtained the data approval from URAC, then we calculated the sample size where n equal to 304, then we proceed with the data collection. The consented participant was 209, while the eligible participant was 203. Then we analyzed the data by using IBM SPSS, and lastly is data reporting. My screening found that 97.1% meet the inclusion criteria, where the inclusion criteria include Malaysian citizen, preschooler in Terengganu, age between 3 and 4 years old, and receive parent consent. For the ethical issue, the study have obtained ethics approval from Iniza Hirat Ilmu Research Ethics Committee, Yayasan Pembangunan Keluarga Terengganu, and also written informed consent from parents. The statistical test for this study was conducted by using descriptive statistics and also Fisher's exact test. And discussion. So, first here we have our first objective, which is to determine the diet quality of preschool children. Here we have table 1.1 that show the average score of each component and the total healthy eating index score. Here we have 9 components under study, which is grains and cereals, fruits, vegetables, meat and poultry, fish and seafoods, legumes, and milk and dairy products. So here we can see the average score for each component, where grains and cereals was 8.8, for fruits was 2.6, for vegetables was 0.1, for meat and poultry was 9.9, for fish and seafood was 6.2, for legumes was 1.4, and for milk and dairy product was 8.4. The average total healthy eating index score was 53.6. Now the table here shows the diet quality of preschool children in Terengganu. So here we can see that 36.7% of the participants have poor diet quality, while another 59.5% have moderate diet quality, and only 3.8% of the participants had a good diet quality. So here we can see that most of the preschool children had a moderate diet quality, where the score is between 51 to 80% based on the score obtained from Malaysia Healthy Eating Index (MHEI). From table 1.1 before, we can see that the mean of total healthy eating index score was 53.6%, which indicate that preschool children in Terengganu were overall had moderate diet quality. This answers our first objective, which is to determine the diet quality of preschool children. So, in the study, the food component flowers mean score was vegetable, which only 0.1 average of score. This shows that most of the preschool children had poor intake of vegetables in their diet. However, a study conducted by Saleh et al. Reported that children had poor diet quality, in which the mean HEI score obtained from the study was 37.1. This may due to the different component under study, where the study also include nutrient, which is total fat and sodium, into HEI score calculation, and this may also due to different study area. So next we have our second objective here, which is to assess the growth pattern of preschool children. So here we have table 2.1 that show the anthropometric characteristic of the preschool children. Here we can see the weight, height, age, gender, weight for each Z score, height for each Z score, and the BMI for each Z score. From the result obtained, a total of 20.3% of the participant was tall, while 12.7% was stunting based on the height for each Z score, while another 24.1% of the participant was overweight or obese, and 20.3 was wasting based on the body mass index Z score, and 7.6% of the participant was underweight based on weight for each Z score. In other study conducted among preschool children in Langkawi, Malaysia, more than half of the children had normal growth, 20.4% were underweight, 20.8% were stunted, and 17.9% were wasted. There are many other factors that may affect the growth of children, such as the heredity, exercise, hormones, family, and geographical influences that will not be discussed in the study. So next is to determine the association between diet quality and growth among preschool children. Here we have table 3.1 that show the comparison between diet quality and growth among preschool children. As we can see here, the weight for each Z score has the p-value of 0.739, while the height for each Z score has a p-value of 0.885, and the BMI for each Z score had the p-value of 0.137. As we can see here, 10.3% of children who were stunted had poor diet quality, while 14.9% of them had moderate diet quality, and none of them had a good diet quality. As for those who are obese or overweight, 24.1% of them had poor diet quality, 23.4% of them had moderate diet quality, and only 33.1% of them had a good diet quality. The result may be biased as the height score obtained may not correspond to good diet quality, since the max healthy eating index score has been fixed. Hence, the excess intake was also calculated as it has achieved the maximum score. As for those who are underweight, 10.3% of the children had poor diet quality, 6.4% of the children had moderate diet quality, and none of them had good diet quality. While for those who are wasted, 34.5% had poor diet quality, 12.8% had moderate diet quality, and there's also none of them had good diet quality. So in total, for those with malnutrition, there are 38% of them had poor diet quality, 45% 0.6% had moderate diet quality, and only 1.3% had good diet quality. Based on the Fisher exact test, the p-value obtained is more than the significant level, which is 0.05. Thus, it failed to reject the null hypothesis. So, there is no significant association between diet quality and growth among preschool children in Terengganu. The result revealed that there was a non-significant relationship in those three growth status indices of weight for each Z-score, height for each Z-score, and BMI for each Z-score, with healthy eating index score. Thus, this finding suggested that their diet quality cannot indicate the growth status of the children. The previous study by Saleh et al. Also support the finding that there was no significant association between diet quality and growth status. However, short period of study may be a possible reason for lack of association between these variables. Thus, it cannot be proven that the children's dietary intake will affect their growth. The lack of association between the diet quality and growth may be due to the profound effect of genetic as well as physiological, lifestyle, and family factors among the children. So next, let's proceed to the strength and limitation of this study. The strength of this study is that the questionnaire was in Malay so that it is easy to understand, and the usual diet can be estimated as the dietary intake was assessed by using food frequency questionnaire. The limitation of this study is small sample size, underreporting or overreporting, accuracy of data recall depend on the respondent memory, self-report methodology, and the different measuring tool that may alter accuracy and measurement. The study recommended one-to-one interview or data collection by the researcher because it may be more accurate if the apparatus used is the same and conducted by those who are more experienced. In conclusion, there is no significant association between diet quality and growth among preschool children in Terengganu. Further research is recommended to be carried out to determine the relationship between diet quality of these children with their growth status. The finding of this study may also benefit relevant agencies to implement education programs in order to provide the right knowledge on nutrition and health for this targeted population to improve their overall well-being. Here is my references, and that's all from me. Thank you.